Hello and welcome to Truck Bed Camping Simplified, my camper shell camping project. This is Jesus Manuel Mena Garza. Let me introduce you what I'm doing here. I'm essentially trying to create something that's affordable for me so I can go camping. I usually typically go tent camping. So right here I'm installing a carpet liner, a bed rug on my 2016 Chevrolet Colorado LT extended cab with a 6-foot 2-inch bed. So I fit in there. I'm 5'10", my wife's 5'8". We both fit in there, and we're pretty lean folk, both of us. So this should be a comfortable way to go, especially when you compare it to tent camping. We were tent camping in Colorado recently, this last summer, and it rained and our tent got a hole in it and we almost drowned. There's a song about it. So there I am zipping it up. It's one of my major skill sets. I can definitely zip things. So if I was a Norm Abrams or somebody who was skilled at woodwork, I would do something more complex. But since I have limited skills when it comes to woodwork, I'm just going to put a carpet liner on here, and then I'm going to use some crates and make a small platform, and then eventually buy a little camper shell. And it's all going to be shown in this short video here, my efforts here to create something simple, something I can afford to take camping and do some boondocking. I tried it out in the middle of June 2017, and it was 90 degrees, and it definitely was hot back there. So it's going to be a task for me and my wife to try to use this camper shell to go camping in Texas. We're going to have to definitely take it to New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and California. Texas, it's going to be tough unless we want to get toasty, and sweat it up in there, and that's not any fun. So here I am installing and doing a dry fit, essentially putting it in there, taking off some of the garbage I collected on the grass, some of the leaves and such, and I'm making sure it fits. That's what it says in the instructions. Make sure it fits properly, make sure you get everything, you know where everything's at. And after we do this, I got one of my brooms, and my wife instructed me, hey, you better clean it up, Garza. I said, okay, yes ma'am, I'll do that. So I started cleaning it up, and after this step I used the Velcro strips. They have a bunch of Velcro strips that they want you attached. They have 3 types of Velcro strips, and they each have specific uses, and you can read the manual. I'm not going to show you how I did the Velcro because I forgot to do that. So I am getting old. I am 65 years old. I'm trying my best. So here I am cleaning up. There's the Velcro. One thing bad about the Velcro that I learned too late is that I laid it down here, and when it stuck, it pulled up some of the bed rug and made it look a little fuzzy, like my hair, like a Pomeranian. So it's not good. So you got to make sure not to put your Velcro in the bed liner because it'll damage it, which it did to mine. And since I'm not a perfectionist, I'm not going to complain about it too much. So here I am. I'm going to lift it up and watch this. Whoosh! Destroy this whole section there. Not necessarily destroyed it, just made it look unsightly. You use a truck, you expect it to get a little dinged up and a little dirty and a little mucky, and that's perfectly normal. It's to be expected. There it is. And I'm going to show a photograph, and I have about a good 2, 3, 4 sections in this that I got Velcro. When I dropped a piece of Velcro, I had to pull it back up, and they had a little bit of damage. Basically, the nap of the carpet got aggravated. So I'm going to do a bed platform. I'm going to do it very simple. Again, I am not Norm Abrams. I am not Steve the Explorer. He has Explorer Steve. He has a more woodworking equipment than I will ever imagine ever having. He would do an A+ job on this. I can only dream of doing a C job, and that's what I'm going to aspire to. I know my skill set. You might be able to do a hell of a lot more. In all probability, you will be able to do quite a bit better than I am. I'm just basically good at gluing stuff and stapling stuff and tacking stuff, and that's what I'm going to do for this project. So I bought a 1/2-inch piece of wood, a decent quality piece of wood. It cost me 20 bucks at Home Depot. And I bought this carpet remnant for about 20 bucks. It's a very thin carpet remnant, and it's very flexible, and it works perfectly for this project. And it's kind of stuff that you would put on a bass boat or a headliner for even this camper shell. So I'm trimming it here. You can trim it any way you want. You can trim it perfectly. I am, again, let me emphasize this point, quote, I am not a perfectionist, end quote. So I'm not going to see the bottom typically. I'm not going to look at the bottom. I'm not going to go, this bottom doesn't look right. It's going to be beneath me, and it's going to be hidden away. So here I'm trimming it away, some of the sections here, and then eventually I'm going to glue and tack the various pieces together. So there I am measuring it, checking it twice, making sure I do it right. I'm using spray glue, not spray paint, spray glue. So here I am going to spray this. On the other side I used this glue that I had to trowel on from Home Depot. It didn't work very well. This spray glue that I had at home that I use for other tasks, for arts and crafts tasks at home, because I am a photographer and an artist by trade, and so this works a lot better. So I highly recommend getting this glue, this spray glue. I'm going to show the can in a bit, and it works perfectly, especially when you spray both sides. It works fabulous, especially with this thin carpet material. There I am trying to level it out, and have plenty of time to play with it and work with it. And if you don't like it, you can always yank it back up and put some more glue. So there I am, flatten it out, doing it by hand. That's what they used to call in the old days custom work, hand work. Not very good work, but it's there's a term they use. There's a 3M Super 77 multi-purpose glue. I have quite a few cans of those at home I use for other projects. And here I'm going to tack it. There's a term they use in Mexican culture for somebody who does things not necessarily perfectly and does it with what's available. They call it estilo rascuachi. So estilo means style, and rascuachi is a style. It's basically not very good. So that's what I specialize in. I'm trying my best, but it's going to work. It's going to work perfectly, I got a nice carpet. I got a nice solid platform, and I'm putting on my tacks here, doing them, showing you here how I do tacks, because everybody needs an instructional video on how to put tacks. I do have an air gun and an air compressor, but the tacks, I mean the staples for it, rather, staple gun, uses 1 1/4 or 3/4, and this wood is a 1/2 inch, so it's a little too long for this. They do sell staple guns, hand staple guns at Walmart and other stores, Lowe's, Costco and such, that would work perfectly with this. And maybe if this starts unraveling down the road, I'll spend the 10 bucks and buy that staple gun and buy $5 of the staples and redo it. And it would have probably been smarter for me to use those staples instead of these tacks, but I use what I have available. I said, hey, I have some tacks, let's use those instead of, since I can't use my staple gun, my air gun, my Craftsman air gun and compressor. So here I am stapling. Oh, I'm not stapling, tacking away. So there's I bought 9 crates at about $8 a pop, but I only ended up using 6. They're bigger than I thought. So I'm going to place them here as a platform. You can put them whichever way you want, and Again, if you're Explorer Steve or Abrams from this old wood shop, whatever they call it, you know, this old house, and those folks, they know what they're doing. They are experts. They are professionals. Maybe you are a professional. You know about wood, how to do. I never took wood shop. I was taking art classes like an idiot. You know, I went to college like an idiot. So, you know, I never learned how to cut wood and stuff like that. So I said, I'm just going to put 6 little crates up there and throw the platform on top, and that's how I'm going to do it. And when I go shopping or something, I can always take those crates out and take the platform out and put stuff in there. You know, this little platform here doesn't weigh anything. It weighs, I estimate, 25 pounds. So it's very light. So it's a 1/2 inch. And I did lay in it several times and test it out, and it definitely could take the weight of my wife and I. My wife's about 135 pounds and I'm about 170 pounds. No problems. No problems at all. And you know, we made it when the original piece of wood was a 4x8. I asked the folks at Home Depot to chop off 2 feet so I can make it 6 foot. So I gave myself 1 inch, you know, spare space from front and back. So in the backyard, I have these in this little shelter area. I have these cushions and also pillows for my lounge chair. So I said, hey, these can be serve double duty. Double duty. You know, save me some money, and I can use them. And they're, you know, bird poop has been on them and stuff like that. So I can always clean that stuff off. And so if I get any fish guts on it, or when I'm out fishing, or you know, stuff like that, dirt, mud, odds and ends. You know, I can always get a little wet cloth and clean it. Of course, if you have money and you're loaded, you should be getting a Prevo or something in the hundreds of thousands, and you would have to just get a truck bed camper shell like I do. So this is my budget camper shell I bought at DFW Camper Corral. It's an ATC. It's a low-end, mid-range. I don't know. It cost me about $1,500. Had a 2-side screen windows, a little light, and a sliding front window. It's a special item they had. And I said, I'll take it. I'll buy it. And it matched my paint color, and I got it. So they're installing it here, and they do a great job. I really appreciate all the great work they did. And on further inspection, there were a couple holes in the screen, so I guess I'm going to have to fix that eventually. But they're not big enough for too big a critter to crawl in, so that's not too bad. Here I have my 2 boxes, and I put stuff in them, some tools, some accessories, and I could add more stuff, of course, in the future. One of the things I didn't like about the camper shell is that these little flaps on the edge here, they get in the way when you open and close it. So there it is, my camper shell. There's my little platform, fits perfectly in there, and it works perfectly. It stays quite stable. I have these little areas here, and there's plenty of things I can add to it. I have this sliding window in the back of my Chevy Colorado. I can open it up, and then from there I can open up the sliding window from the camper shell, which is very nice. They are a bit sticky. I'm trying to figure out how to make them less sticky. The two, the ones on the side and the one, this one right here. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I'm not going to use graphite. I'm not going to use oil. I'm trying to figure out maybe another way I can do it. Maybe a little wax. I do not know. Maybe soap. Sometimes I put soap in ferrules of my fishing equipment, and it helps it move more readily. So here I am again using my patio furniture. Of course, if you got money, you can do much better than this. If you got skills, you can do much better than this. But since I'm a cheapskate, you know, old dude, you know, I like this. This is better than my tent that this last summer in Colorado that got rained in the porthole with my REI tent. Got a hole in it, and it started raining for 3-4 days consecutively, and I just got soaked. So did my wife. We woke up with our hands completely wet. So am I completed? This the completion? I don't know. There's a lot of ideas I can continue with. So thank you for checking out my video on truck bed camping simplified. My name is Jesus Manuel Mena Garza. I really appreciate you checking out my video. Feel free to contact me at any time. By the way, I'm a photographer and videographer. I've been doing that and teaching at universities. So please like, subscribe, and of course, share. And if you have time and you have the cash, you know who you are. Support my photography by going to my Patreon page. I'll be leaving links in the description. So thank you very much. Gracias. Adios. Bye-bye.